Councillor Stracker, Wells.
Thank you. I want to speak to you as a parent, a teacher, a school improvement advisor, a counsellor, but most importantly, as a human being. On the last day of term, my colleague Councillor Kerry Jenkins and I came to Anderton Park Primary School at the head's invitation. At 3:15, a protester with a megaphone began revving up the small crowd, demanding the head's resignation and councillor's deselection. Several parents and children began joining the protesters. A petition was circulated amongst the parents. The protests were around a curriculum that is already 9 years old. No complaints had been heard before the outbreak at Parkfield School. So why now? And should this really be happening outside a school? Are the children being used as bargaining chips in an orchestrated standoff between parents and the school? If you ask me whose side I'm on in the current standoff, then I would have to say I'm on the side of the children. They have a lot of learning and growing up to get through in their schools, in their families, in their communities, and in their personal lives. They will develop a sense of themselves, their identification, their sexuality, their very being. Teachers are there to help prepare them for the momentous changes that will affect their lives. We also need to remember that 60% of learning takes place within their peer group. Teachers know that children need to develop emotional intelligence. How they feel about themselves and their peers affects the rest of their learning. They need the help of high expectations and high self-esteem. A program of personal health and social education can help with this adolescent journey. By 2020, all primary schools will be required to offer children an understanding about the diverse nature of relationships, whether single parent, same-sex or foster parents. All secondary schools will be required to reflect this diversity in programs of health and sex education. Teachers must be empowered to develop a curriculum that embraces every child. This year, LGBT History Month coincided with a dispute between Parkfield Community Schools and some parents and activists regarding the No Outsiders programme. The No Outsiders programme is one of many programmes available in our city to help school leaders combat all forms of discrimination. As Angela Rayner, Education Secretary, has made abundantly clear, there is now not only a moral imperative to ensure that all young children receive LGBT inclusive education, there is a legal requirement too, and schools must comply with Labour's groundbreaking Equalities Act. Claims that these programmes present a threat to the innocence of children are unfounded and misinformed. This opposition to combating homophobia only strengthens arguments that programmes like these, designed to promote mutual respect and tolerance for all, are needed. Where parents or carers have questions about relationships and sex education, we encourage them to speak to the school about the programme being used to combat discrimination. There are LGBT people in every culture, community, race and faith. It is our duty to ensure all children are protected. And we achieve this by instilling an ethos of acceptance through education. Echoing disgraceful Thatcherite language around the promotion of homosexuality recalls a recent painful memory of discrimination against LGBT people, which harmed many children. We will not allow the prejudices of the past to re-emerge in any part of our city, and will robustly defend the principles of equality and tolerance in our schools. The Labour Party is committed to fighting any form of bigotry and has a proud record of championing the fight for LGBT equality. We are the party that decriminalised homosexuality, equalised the age of consent, abolished Section 28, introduced civil partnerships, banned workplace discrimination on the grounds of sexual orientation, and introduced the Gender Recognition Act. All Cabinet members have signed up to Labour's equality pledges. By signing this statement, Birmingham Labour supports a mandatory education programme to inform every Labour MP and councillor in Birmingham of the issues affecting LGBT people and how best to act as allies. We also pledge to fight for LGBT rights in the areas we represent. Thank you.